The awakening process is a very, very destructive process, but in a good way. Let's talk about that. So if you go through an awakening process, for example a Kundalini awakening, which spontaneously happens in one moment, your life changes. Or if it's a more gradual process, it's still a destructive process. So what is it destroying? And by the way, this video will be very interesting because I have no plan, just an idea. So we'll see if we can channel something fun through, and if not, then you know, that'll be enough. It'll have to be. So the awakening journey is a very destructive process, and it's like, it sets fire to your life, and it burns, and it can be quite painful, you know, but it will burn away that which is not naturally yours. What does that mean? Because there'll be some people, potentially old friends, watching this video thinking, right, Jamie's lost it. So I feel the need to over-explain things. I think it's called mansplaining, isn't it? But I do it anyway, just in case non-spiritual people come. Who knows? Most of you know this stuff anyway. But what is not naturally yours, the awakening process will destroy. So what does that mean? Well, let's give the example that when we're born into this world, we come in as a clean slate, a clean consciousness, right? When we're a baby, doddly little thing, we can't even pick the body up. There's no way that we identify with the body. We can't even move it. We can't even hold our own heads up when we're a kid. There's no way that we identify this mechanism as me. Because we're not. We're more the energy, the clean slate consciousness that's trying to slowly learn to use this vehicle. Oh look, and then we get to 20 and we can drive this vehicle pretty good, and we've got our identity attached to it, and now it's like, oh yeah, I am this thing that I can move so freely. God, I'm weird, aren't I? So, it will destroy that which you're not. Well, what are you not? Well, you aren't the body, but it won't destroy that. I mean, life will do that in time anyway, you know, the body will die. We will all experience the body's death. But it will destroy as well what is not naturally yours, meaning conditioning. When we're a baby, we're like an open sponge, you know, to anything coming in from the outside. And we soak it all up like a sponge would water. And when I say conditioning, I mean the way that our parents treat us, the way that our grandparents treat us, the way that our friends treat us. We take that all in as ours. I was having a conversation with my father earlier, actually. It's interesting because my awakening has sort of, what from my perspective started an awakening in him. And it's weird how, you know, when God wakes up in one, it wakes up in everyone, and then we all start changing and shifting. Very strange, very, very strange. And now it's destroying him too, but in a good way, you know. So what do I mean? We take these things in like a sponge, and they're not naturally ours. Clean slate takes in the outside world's conditioning and their core wounds and takes them on as their own. I was speaking, like I said, to my father about the fact that every kid thinks they're weird. You know, probably if I'm speaking to you, you think you were the weird kid, right? Because you got called weird a lot. But what we don't realise probably is that every kid got called weird a lot. And we're all here, this individual who thinks, I'm a weird individual. And you see it in all of the books and that, and any autobiographies. I was always that guy that never fitted in. That's how they all start, right? Not because everyone's weird, but people just got told that they're weird as children, and we took it on as our identity, and we felt separate from our friends. We never were, because they felt separate from us, because we probably called them weird too, you know? It's this weird rigmarole of craziness that's not actually true. It's only when we take that weirdness on as our identity and become, oh, I'm a weird guy, I need to change. Actually, yeah, I need to change. Which is BS, and after a while of doing some decent sadhana, and if you want some, you can access it down below in the one-to-one coaching. Doing some decent sadhana, we finally come out the other side of that and realise, oh right, I've never been weird. You know, I've always been enough on my own. I don't need to change myself because I've taken weird on as my identity. I don't have to change myself to please others. I am the way I am. I am enough. Of course I am. I may not be enough for you, but I'm enough because I'm here, right? And my expression of consciousness is just as valid as yours. We're self-validated, aren't we? We're consciousness validated because something thinks we're worthy, and we should treat ourselves in that high regard too. What is it destroying then? Because the awakening is a destructive process. It's destroying the conditioning. But we've got our identity so tightly attached to our conditioning that it's painful when that destruction process goes, because we've got our identity attached to it. We think, I'm losing myself, I'm losing my identity, and you are, and thank God you are, because this is just the biggest case of mistaken identity in the world. This is like a big game of universal Cluedo. And we've all mistaken the identity of the killer. But I just mean, you know, we've taken on the wrong identity. We're not this one in the mind. We're the one behind it. We're the beingness, the feeling. Can we even say that we're the feeling? Well, we're the witness to the feeling too, right? When I say feeling, I mean the beingness, yeah? Well, if we close our eyes, I'm also the witness to that beingness. Interesting. It's just a case of mistaken identity, and we live our life out being this weird one that we've been called weird. And we live it out, oh, I'm the weird one, I must change. And then we do so much damage trying to change our personality, can't do it, and then we try and change who we are. We can, in a sense, but there's no point polishing the turd, is there? Because the turd is what keeps us gripped into this destructive process, and that's what gets destroyed. Don't polish the turd, let the fire of the awakening process destroy the turd inside of you. How can you be a spiritual mentor and talk about turds, huh? Well, I'm doing it. Oh dear. So it is destroying what you perceive as you, or what we perceive as us, the identity in the mind. I think it also destroys the notion, in time, that these emotions or these thoughts are even mine. If we're the witness to this body, is this body mine, or is it the universe's body? Is this life experience mine, or is this just the dynamic play of existence that actually I've never been involved with as the witness? I'm separate, aren't I? And it destroys these beliefs that this life experience is mine. I'm just the witness. I'm the one watching all of this. And then we have questions about free will and, you know, predetermination and fate and that. We'll leave that for another discussion, because I'm sure you guys have some fantastic opinions about that. And if you want to, drop it down below. But am I this life? Or am I just the witness to it? Now, if that goes too far, then please forgive me, because I have lost a client once by going too far on that message straight away, because I thought they were ready for it, but they weren't. You know, we're the witness to this life. Yes, we observe this life experience and the feeling of who we are inside, but also we're very much detached from it too, as this witness of the inner and outer world. And if I'm the witness to the inner and the outer, I must be beyond both, right? This will do. Destruction. It's like, who is it? Kali Ma. Kali Ma, the Hindu goddess with the man's head, severed bloody head. She's there with her claws and the synth that she's just chopped this bloke's head off. Well, what's it talking about? A goddess of destruction. Well, what is it destroying? Destroying the ego. The head being representational, the head of the man being representational of his ego. That's what we're destroying. Nothing real dies. There was another bit to that saying, but I've forgotten it. Nothing real dies. And yeah, I can't remember the rest of it. But nothing real dies. That which we are as the witness is separate from this life. We'll be the witness even to the body dropping. Who's there to witness the body's death? Oh, Me? Who am I? Well, I'm the witness. I hope this helps. I don't know if it does. This could have just been a rambling. But it felt guided, so, you know, maybe it'll help someone. And if it did, let me know. Because by this point, I'm just never sure. So, thanks for watching, and have a nice evening.